What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today I was talking to Matt Rhodes, who also makes some different fishing videos on YouTube here, and one thing we were talking about is different video ideas. And one of the ones that he had mentioned is a idea that I thought was really cool, which is to take a look, cut open different lures and see what's on the inside and how strong and durable they actually are. So let's get right into it. But before we do, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to leave a thumbs up below. So the 5 lures that we have are a square bill crankbait, just your standard plastic injected, I don't know, square bill crankbait. And I went ahead and took the hooks and split rings off of this because I don't need another tetanus shot. So we got the square bill crankbait. We also have a jointed bait. Now this is actually a Rapala brand, so I think theoretically on the inside this is going to be a wood bait. So it'll be cool to see how wood versus plastic is put together. We've also got a third kind of crankbait, which is going to be a rattle trap, a lipless crankbait. And this one has all the rattles in it, so it'll be cool to see how that rattle system is put in. And then the other two we actually do have kind of another crankbait. This is a Castaic, I believe, crankbait, but the cool thing about this one is it's a soft body crankbait. So it should be a lot different than the other standard square bill in here. And it's going to be more, I'd assume, the style of a frog, but we're going to take a look at that and see what it's like. And then finally we have a hollow body frog. So that'll be kind of cool to see the soft crankbait versus the hollow body frog. Then I've also got a couple tools. We've got a little saw, whatever type of saw this is. And we've got a hook cutters, stole this out of the musky tackle box. And then finally we have a knife. Now, I feel like I've already gone to the ER in videos on accident, but I feel like if it's going to happen again, this is probably the video, so hopefully we're safe. But let's get right into it. I think we're going to start with the lipless crankbait. Okay, so that lipless crankbait is in the vise here, and I don't know about you guys, but I kind of think I have an idea of how all of these crankbaits are going to be, with two like plastic sides and then the rattles and stuff in the middle, and I'd assume that there's going to be a wire going from the line tie down to the different hooks, but we'll see how that actually is, and if it's anything like I think it's going to be. You guys can also comment your comments below on what you think it'll look like. This really smells. I don't know if it's like the plastic melting or something from the blade of the saw, but it stinks. It's actually warm on the inside of it as well. There we go. We can just rip it apart. And there are little beads flying everywhere. As you can see here, we have the two sides, but on this one, maybe, you can see that it looks like there's actually just a little, like, almost 8 style little line tie there, and then another one would be down here where your hook goes in. I don't know where it went, it disappeared, and another one back here. So there's actually not 3 or a solid line like I thought there would be, which is kind of interesting, because that way if your bait cracked or something, you lose the entire thing, compared to if it cracked and somehow when you had a fish on, if it had a through wire like a lot of musky lures I know have, you wouldn't have to worry about losing the fish. But yeah, basically it's a simple flat body. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is one of the bigger, like, 1-knocker rattles in there. And then we've also got a bunch of little BBs, and these actually look just like the BBs you'd find in a shotgun shell, so I would assume that that's what they are. So that is what's inside of a lipless crankbait. Next, let's take a look at the square bill and see if it's the same. See if this has like a through wire compared to what the Lipless had. So, basically, finally got that open, and it looks like it's going to be a similar bait, actually. We'll look at this side here. What we have is just a hollow body there. That's going to be the reason why they float when you leave them on the surface of the water until you start cranking. And it looks like it actually has the same as the Lipless crankbait, where you have the little like eight shaped little wire there, not the through wire, which I'm curious why they do that, since it's such a weaker system this way. And it looks like the bill of the crankbait is actually integrated into the body there, which I'm surprised it's not a separate piece. And yeah, so it's got a little weight up there, and then we had this bigger weight in this little hole right here where it just fell out of. But it's a lot cheaper looking than I thought they would be on the inside. I'd be curious to see if a more expensive crankbait would be any different. But it seems that the Lipless and the square bill are basically the exact same on the inside, minus the lip and the rattles in the Lipless. Let's just get rid of the other crankbait. This is going to be the Rapala one. As I said, I'm thinking this one's going to be wood, so it'll be interesting to see if it's a different style system on the inside. Plus, this is a jointed one, so we can see how that joint kind of works. Now, this one is wood, as I figured it was gonna be. Basically, you can see there, it's just a wooden body carved out in the shape of the lure, and then has the clear coated paint on top of it. And there's a little slot, it looks like, if you can see up close, right here, where the bill was actually placed in and glued or whatever. I still can't really tell what the wire is like, so I'm gonna kind of take the knife and try to whittle away at this and see what that is. This is actually interesting. This wood one is more of how I figured the rest of the baits would be, with a through wire system in it. And what that's going to do for you, let me see if I can get it. There we go, so you can see it a little bit better. As you can see right through here, there's this little slot. It's like they took a drill bit, a little tiny one, and drilled through there to put the wire in. And what that's going to do for you is it connects the eyelet of the bait to the back of the bait, the hooks, everything like that. And that's going to create a little bit stronger bait for you guys, which is going to be stronger, so if you get a fish or whatever, you don't have to worry about the hooks not being connected to the line if something does fail. So that is, it seems like that's a little better built bait. Even though it's your older style, you'd think that they'd come out with new technologies and stuff. However, I think that the old one's actually more of a durable bait. So now we're going to get into the more fun ones. We're going to go with the Kayak hollow body crankbait. But for this one, I'm not going to use the vise or anything. I'm just going to take the knife and see if we can cut it in half fairly good. There we go. There we go. So you can see inside of the soft body one, if I can get it into focus here for you guys, what we have is a couple beads rolling around, the BBs, just like the Lipless crankbait had. Pour those out here so you can see it better. And we've got a little lead weight there, and what that's going to do is keep it, I believe it's going to keep it belly down, so it's always going to run true and float the same way on the water. And then you also, in this one, have the through wire, which I was interested to see how this one would be, since it doesn't have a solid body that's able to hold the hooks in place. And then it looks like, if we get it here, the bill is somehow just like glued in place there. So I don't know how durable that would be, but that creates a little bit different bait. And it seems like that one was, it's a little bit more durable on the hooks and everything. As you can see here, pull that out, all of the hooks and everything are going to be in connection to your line. But that lip and everything is going to be easier to come out if it breaks or anything. And the soft body, I'd be interested to know whether it floats after you catch like a pike or something. You're probably going to have teeth marks in it. So the final one's going to be the frog, and I feel like this is going to be very similar to the hollow body crankbait. However, this one does have the different hook on it compared to the treble. And yeah, we're going to get right into it. So this one does have the same kind of weighting system in it. Flying over here, that's going to be what keeps it floating this right side up on the water, so it walks better depending on what you need, and it will also keep your hooks up so you can set the hook into the fish. Now for the inside of the frog, if I can get the skirt out of the way, what you can see here is it's going to be the same like hollow body style. However, in the back it's got two little holes on it. Now it only has one since I cut the other side off, and the skirt material just goes right through. So as you can see here, we can just pull the skirt out. And basically, right there you have a skirtless frog. And this also does have like the through wire in it to hold your hook. However, this one is kind of a multi-piece one, which is interesting. And that might actually be better because it's going to be more of your free swinging style to keep the fish hooked better. So that is what was inside 5 different fishing lures. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know below if that was what you thought they'd be like on the inside or completely different. They were kind of different than I had thought. However, I did think that some of the things were the same. And also let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this. I can make different ones on musky lures or comparing cheaper versus expensive lures, anything like that. Also, leave a like below and subscribe while you're down there. We'll see you guys on the next episode.